How's it going, everybody? It's been a while since I've done a punish video, and considering that the only character you guys made requests for was Gladiator, the decision wasn't that hard which one to do first. So Warlord will come sometime in the future, but the demand for it didn't seem to be all that great. So yeah, this one is going to be a little longer. For one, Gladiator has quite a variety of punishes, with some of them being quite long and not viable to do all the time, so I'll go over that when we reach that point. But in general, because Haymaker is an important part when it comes to his feats, it also enhances or changes a lot of his punishes, depending on whether you've unlocked it already or not. Especially since Toe Stab is now affected by the feat, this makes some of the numbers even more absurd than they already were. Next to the out of stamina punishes, you guys should also stick around for the out of luck ones, as they're quite spicy for Gladiator. The section will be a little longer than usual, and at the very end I'll go a little more in depth about his zone attack and which characters can punish it, and how to do it. I already mentioned it, but let's quickly go over the moves that trigger Haymaker. All his punches, including the parry counter. Toe Stab. His zone attack. Throws, including skewer throws. And of course Bamboozle. Having said that, let's begin with the usual. On a Guardbreak, you get a heavy attack. Sight doesn't matter, damage is always 30. On heavy parry, we already have differing ones. Forward dodge light is the standard one, which gives you 20 damage. With Haymaker, you can in theory opt for a Toe Stab, which also gives you 20. Highest damage in one is zone attack though, which also clocks in a 30 damage with Haymaker. On a light parry, you once again go for a heavy for 30. So, we've already established that Toe Stab connects on a heavy parry, which means it will do the same on a light parry. This means that if your parry puts your opponent out of stamina, you can knock them down. This gives you an additional heavy, and the damage is 40 or 50 respectively with the feat active. So let's go over the Toe Stab punishes then. You always get a heavy, doesn't matter whether you switch guard or not. The punish is also completely safe if the opponent doesn't regain his stamina. If he does regain it though, then you can get guard broken. Couple of ways to make it safe. You can simply let another heavy fly, or even let the skewer fly. Both moves will beat out a Guardbreak. The safest method is to feint the skewer though. Your opponent will always bounce off. For wall splats, you don't get more damage from the guaranteed attack. You only wall splat with a normal throw if you have Haymaker, because of the 10 additional damage. Also remember that a throw does 20 additional stamina damage, which can in theory put someone out of stamina. This means you can throw, Toe Stab and heavy in that situation. Skewer throws can be used similarly. They work like a normal wall splat and it always confirms a heavy. The optimal thing to do for skewer with a wall is 2 ticks, then throw towards the wall to get the heavy. If there's no wall nearby, you go for the forward dodge light after 2 ticks. Just remember to change guard if you're pinning someone to a wall on a forward throw and that person has static guard. And don't attempt it on back throws, those will never reach the wall. If you're yourself out of stamina, you can still get a heavy on a wall throw. Distance is important, so don't try it when you're really close to the wall. If you parry a light while out of stamina, you get a light yourself. And now for the out of stamina ones. As I said, there are many different ones. On a throw, the quickest punish you can do is light into heavy. This should be done if your opponent is about to get his stamina back, or in team fights if you can't afford to spend a lot of time on a punish. That punish gives you a combined 45 damage. If the opponent just gotten out of stamina and you have the time, you can go for throw, forward or sides, then double light into toe stab into heavy. This clocks in at 70 or 80 damage if you have Haymaker unlocked. An even longer punish is the one that involves skewer. Because of the stamina regen during the punish and the overall length, this one is absolutely not feasible and basically unusable. It's side throw into a delayed side dodge light, which will whiff, delayed skewer for 2 ticks, throw into forward dodge light, into toe stab, and then a heavy. That punish is 106 damage if I'm not mistaken. Now for the out of stamina parries. The easy and quick one is 2 heavies for 60. The other option is forward dodge light, into toe stab, into heavy. Damage is 75 or 85 damage respectively. And then there is also a skewer option again. After the parry you whiff 2 lights, then the skewer connects perfectly. 2 ticks, and throw, and the usual punish. Should be 116 damage again with Haymaker and 96 without. Now for Bamboozle. I've talked about this before in another video, but for the sake of completion we're gonna include and expand on it here. If you landed with good distance to the wall, you do get your heavy. If it's close range, you get a light attack or a zone if your stamina allows it. If your opponent was out of lock and you have a good distance, then you get an additional toe stab. Now imagine your opponent rolling away from you and putting himself out of stamina. If the person rolls your running heavy, this confirms your Bamboozle, as long as your angle is correct. If that one wall splats, you get heavy into toe stab into heavy. This does a combined 90 damage, with Haymaker that is. And now for something even better, which I will mention again in the out of lock section. You can go for skewer as well. Distance and stamina of your opponent need to be absolutely perfect for this to be even possible. The full punish is as follows. Bamboozle into wall splat, this confirms heavy into skewer. 2 ticks of the skewer, then throw the person away from the wall. This confirms dodge light into toe stab, which then ultimately confirms a heavy. With Haymaker, and if you get both ticks of the skewer, this punish does a total of 156 damage. I gave up after a while because it's a pain to get right. In the clip here I missed 1 skewer tick, that's why the Lobbringer is still alive. With all that said, let's just go into the out of lock punishes because most of these work without Bamboozle as well. Here is the list. A heavy confirms a toe stab. A forward dodge light confirms another top light. Side lights can be blocked. and toe stab can be dodged. Normal lights confirm an additional top light as well. Be aware that these lights push your opponent extremely far away, which also makes every toe stab attempt into a whiff. So now for the interesting part. If you're out of stamina, you have a longer recovery when being hit out of a lock. I'm not sure whether we ever discussed this, but this probably affects a lot more out of lock punishes, especially when catching rolls that put someone out of stamina. Let me know if you want a separate video where I go more in depth on that for basically the whole roster. But let's go down the list for Gladiator. A heavy confirms another heavy. Even better, a heavy confirms a toe stab, which knocks your opponent down and makes this a 70 or 80 damage punish respectively. And even better, a heavy confirms a skewer. And you've already seen what you can do with an opponent that gets caught in a skewer while out of stamina. I desperately tried parrying and the game shows me a tiny parry indicator if I enable this special thing in the training mode. But as I've explained in a previous video, this indicator isn't 100% accurate. I wasn't able to parry it at all. Dodging is also impossible, so I'm saying the skewer is confirmed. The skewer is not confirmed on the forward dodge light though. You can parry it, but timing is a bit tricky. Dodging is a lot easier. What is confirmed on the dodge light is the toe stab, so you're looking at another 60 to 70 damage punish here. I don't think I promised too much when I said that these punishes are spicy. I'd think twice about unlocking and trying to run away from a gladiator if you have stamina. Moving on to which character can actually punish Gladiator's zone and how. Credit here goes to Setmix for having tested this in depth, which saved me a lot of time as I could simply record most of them. Shout out to him. I will only mention characters that can actually do something. Two things first. You want to always dodge to the left against the zone. And every character can parry the follow-up if the Gladiator lets it fly, so please keep that in mind. First up, Warden, dodge into shoulder bash. We expect the Glad to feint the zone after missing the bash, which allows for the mix-up. Glad can dodge the shoulder bash, Warden can feint for Guardbreak or fully charge. You know how it works. On PK you need to react early enough. If you did, you will beat out the follow-up attack. If you were late, you will either trade or get interrupted. Black Prior doesn't need to dodge, he can outright flip it. Kong can get a shield bash on early dodge. Lawbringer is similar to Warden, but because Shove has hyper armor. Yes, my dear Lawbringer players, your character has hyper armor. You can trade with the follow-up attack, not in your favor, but still, Glad can dodge the Shove if he feints. Gladiator himself can get a dodge attack in if he reacts early. Raider is a bit finicky. You cannot buffer the stunning tap because that reduces your iframes and you will be hit by the bash even on correct dodge timing. So you need to delay it a little bit to hit before the follow-up attack connects. If you delay too much, you will trade or get interrupted. Zerker, as I mentioned in the very beginning, needs to dodge to the left. You can't delay the dodge attack too long, a little bit is okay. Highlander can punish it with a light inoffensive stance. Valkyrie needs an early reaction and can get her dodge attack in. Shaman is probably one of the easiest and most consistent because of her amazing dodge attack, works in both directions without any issues. Kensei can get his dodge attack to the left. Orochi is again a left dodge attack. Don't delay the attack too much or you will get hit out of it. Shinobi can no longer just kick and get away with it. Trick here is to dodge late, which might actually be easier for most people. You double dodge late and evade both bash as well as the attack. This gives you a free Guardbreak. Nobushi is an absolute pain to get right. It is an early reaction and then a delayed Cobra strike. If you want to get this consistently, then you have a bit of practice ahead of you. With TND you need to delay your dodge light. It's similar to Raider. You cannot input the light too early or you will cancel the iframes. Delay it as long as you can. You can, in theory, also dodge to the right and input a delayed dragon dodge. You evade both bash and attack like that. Timing is a lot harder. With Nusha you just dodge attack to the left. JJ can evade both bash and attack with a delayed dodge heavy. It's way easier to time land TNDs. Problem here is that it won't punish anything if the Glad feints it. All you can hope for is that your soft feint might hit. And Shaolin requires an early reaction for his left dodge attack to hit. But that's it. A lot of info this time around. Shout out to Froggy and Spaniard for helping me record everything. Let me know if there's anything else that I might have missed. Feel free to join us on Discord. We recently broke the 1000 member mark. See you there. I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.